Mr. French.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schulte.
Here.
Mr. Vanderhoff.
Here.
Mr. DeBoer.
Here.
Mr. Here. Any additions or subtractions to today's agenda?
I don't have any.
I'll make a motion to approve. Support it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any corrections to the November 13th, 2024 minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept those minutes. I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss overpayment of exempted acres in the drainage districts. A couple of weeks ago, Becky came to us with some property that we refunded the money back to because they were exempted acres from being taxed. And it got me thinking about the drainage districts and the properties we exempted here this last year. They had been exempted for a while. I don't know why it took as long as what it did to get them exempted, but it had been brought into the assessor's attention prior to, and instead of exempting those acres, they were discounted, but discounting it is not the same as being exempt. And with all the work being done in the districts, I thought that maybe those guys should maybe get refunded back some of their taxes for being taxed on something that was already exempt.
You're talking drainage district assessments?
The ones that we took off that ISG mapped out, because all those drainage, the main drainage
Like
channels
right of
were all
way,
exempt, yep, that they were all exempted. But everybody had been paying taxes on those the whole time that they were exempted. But you guys could ponder on it and we'll talk about it next meeting, but I just wanted to toss it out there.
Any figures on a dollar amount?
I do not have any figures on a dollar amount.
Nope.
So
Okay.
we'll discuss it again. I just wanted to toss it out there.
Do we get legal counsel's advice on it, or?
I talked to ISG, but yeah. But that's it. We'll give everybody some time to dig in. Reappoint Julie Mickelson to the Board of Health.
Representative to that, I'll make a motion to make that reappointment.
I'll support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider elected officials' salaries.
Just curious what our plan is. We chose not to continue with the compensation board, so how are we gonna comply with the code requirements of addressing salaries?
And maybe pick out two people from the board to sort through that and come up with a recommendation. That's my 2 cents.
That's kind of how I figured we'd do it.
And then just meet with the department heads? Is that what you're saying?
Well, basically, you just go through, look at all the same stuff that comp board was looking at. And then, I don't know if you have to meet with the department heads or not, but
That's, I was just curious on how you planned on. Just thinking out loud.
who wants to be the 2 volunteers?
Not fleshed out. I heard another county talk about having each elected official kind of do the legwork and make the presentation as to what they deemed would be reasonable for their office. Be somewhat like presenting their case or talking to their rep when we had a comp board. It would just be filing it or presenting it to the board to
So would
consider. Was
would you
just
break up departments by each board member to make that presentation, or?
we can flesh that out. I don't know. I was thinking they'd just come during budget consideration time and make that presentation, and then the impression I got from the other county that was talking about is that meets the show your work aspect, because they're presenting based on comparables, but
That works too.
just another idea out there.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
But the subcommittee thing is certainly an effort towards what's required as well. See how much Rochelle's stare is boring through me right now.
Well, the only thing, if it's during budget time, is fine, it's just, we don't know what figures to put in for salary or the deputies or any of that, so that makes it a little bit hard to do the budgets.
Not getting plugged in then.
Yeah.
That's not known. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my only concern about doing it at budget time, but, I mean,
So we have a special meeting and just for that, and meet with each department head?
you could, or, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, I don't know. I don't know what's the best, I think it's something you trial and error.
Have it done before budget time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer, it'd be easier, no one knows what to plug in unless, and I know it's not for certain, but at least we have a starting point.
And you would need those numbers by when?
Well, usually we do budgets, probably the 21st and 22nd, probably of January, so I would like to have it first week of January. January is the first full week, 6th through the 10th, somewhere in there.
How about if we talk about it at the next meeting? That's 26th. Give us a little time to think about it.
Most years our practice has been to have taken action on the comp board recommendation before the first of the year, so that
Yeah.
that's included in budget time.
Or even maybe the
So
first meeting in December or something.
Meeting in December, it looks-
Yeah, that's fine.
So then would you want to have the department heads come in and,
or we can think about it and talk about it again next week, or I thought we need to have ideas out there on what we're gonna do, 'cause
well, I guess everybody can ponder it, and
Yep.
We'll
you can
decide.
add that back on for the 26th.
Mhm.
And then we'll make a for sure decision then. And then now we can hurry up and wait till 10:30.
Yep.
Just an FYI, there'd be joint 3 next week, and we have to have a joint meeting with Dickinson County, so probably at 9:30 to talk about the annexation part, because you have to annex 2 landowners in, and then to set up a time for that. And he won't be completed by Friday, so we gotta discuss that as well. So, FYI,
So that was the deadline.
I think they're supposed to be done by the 22nd, which is Friday, and he won't be. So,
So you gotta sit and wait, can I have something to say then?
Sure.
I got this yesterday, it got me thinking, everyone should have one of these. Says here, how to kill a farm. Made me think. How to kill our county. How to kill our town. And I think that's what's happening slowly. We need to be more efficient. We need to do more for the republic. And you can take this or read it later, but the idea of this, everybody got it? The idea of this is happening right here. And we talk about the border, with people coming over the border. And we are slowly having people take us over in our county economically, and we're not looking at it serious enough. With that, and it's in so many different ways, not to blame anyone, it's just happening because we're allowing it to happen without a voice. And again, I always say, I don't hate anyone. I'm just disappointed in a lot of things. But what I'd like to really say here is to the engineer, and the engineer about part of this. We just finished doing these roads. And I want to thank you for all that work. Sure. Thank your whole group.
He doesn't work on it, thank you.
There's a lot of people who won't work. I talked to about 10 different people on this road project. And they all had a lot of nice things to say. They needed time. You were reasonable. You stayed out of their neck. When you farm, and when you've got people running down your neck every day, telling you how to do everything, and running into town to pay your bills, you get frustrated. We need to all look at each other and thank each other when we do well. And what I'd like to see is maybe with economic development is to do some type of a way of knowing, now that this is all fixed, a lot of it's nice, on how and who's using it. And the biggest percentage of using it, if it's from someone out of our country getting the benefit from it, that owns something or is involved with someone else in a business, making money off of us without paying anything for it. That's my biggest concern, is outside of our border of a country. And I'll use the example. I find out that them Spanish wind turbines, 25% of ownership of that company is owned by the Spain government. Now, what do we do in our country? What from Osceola County do we own over in another country and make them pay bills for it? That's what we need to have security on, and public safety, and policing of our jurisdiction, of our border, of our county. And we should be able to file an affidavit to the governor with a report of what's happening and protect the interest of everyone that lives here on the economics instead of us robbing. I can go into this a lot deeper, but I want you to think what I just said. I appreciate your time. I have a lot more I could say. Like one thing. You have 5 districts. Think about 5 districts. We set that up to vote. Our freedom of vote is worth more than money. Now you think about which one of them districts are farmers. And when I say farmer, which one has a planter? And which one plants a seed and sees the outcome of bounty? That's a different feeling than someone that owns a farm and has someone else do it for him. I've been told by other people that I should just have an office on Main Street and have a lot of Mexicans do all my work. A real farmer does it all. We're paying the bills. It's coming from the land. I just want you to think about what I got to say. We need to get back to the Constitution. And the Constitution is the land jurisdiction of the site of the law. Of law is LAW. Land, air, and water. There's 3 jurisdictions. And I think we have someone that's gonna start helping us get it back on the top. And it's gonna have to start here. We're gonna have to have the effort. I have never done the Pledge of Allegiance in here. It's the first time. Because I never was at the start of the meeting. I know you do it. But it's for the republic for which we stand, not for the democracy. The words, it's words. Are you guys union? Thank you so much.
Didn't do that.
Thank you so much. The republic is not unions. You think about that, Sheriff. You might have to switch that.
I have no control over that, George.
Yes, you do. You got more control than what you know. You just haven't entered it. Thank you.
Thanks, George.
You know, if we had donuts, we could have donuts now.
So I could throw it in the garbage for you again. I could try that twice again.
I thought you said you were gonna bring muffins.
I should have, yeah, I should have. I made muffins, but my grandkids ate it all.
Well, who's more important?
I know, right?
The grandkids.
I know she didn't even think about it.
No, Trevor's were home and yeah.
My brother always says to his wife, if I gotta pick between you and the grandkids, you're out. You're out.
Well, I don't know. I got to see the grandkids over the weekend. 2 days of that's enough.
You're just getting old, Mike.
Yes, I am.
We have to make M&M bars. That's the thing with my grandkids, and muffins. That's what we do. So I brought John and Charlie got to bring some muffin homes. I said you have to share with your big sister, and John wouldn't share. He said they're all his. Okay, I tried,
I'm
Taylor.
just thankful my daughter's going through what we went through with kids. She was going to call last night, and about the time she had the phone ringing, and all of a sudden the middle one to the oldest one took a little rake or something, whap, right across the chest. The fun part's about parenting.
Kinley had the lead part in the play in Primgar. She did a really good job. She had to learn a lot of lines. She did good.
We were talking about that play here in town, what, Friday and Saturday night.
They said it was really good. I didn't go to
Those kids
it.
had a lot to learn. I'd never remembered half of it.
They said it was really good.
What plays they do?
Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
Or your son, was he,
Musical, good man, Charlie Brown.
yeah.
did he have one of the main parts?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, yeah.
I think
But his lines were fewer than a lot of the other characters.
big enough to be Charlie. I've seen high school productions of Chicago and Fiddler on the Roof. You'd be surprised what high school students can do.
I know, they have a lot of talent
Just
there.
amazes me.
They just need
Take on a
somebody to
Broadway show.
bring it out of them.
And just as good.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So are you
road closed signs, are they blown over or they get run over?
All got blown over.
Little both
Little both.
sometimes.
Now that they have temporary striping down, they're gonna be allowed to take those signs away. And they come back to do the rumble strip lane, edges and stuff and stripe, it'll be a rolling operation, so they won't need those road closed signs.
It's when they'll pick them up, but
Yeah,
It's about all they have left, isn't it?
yeah, the edge lines, center line rumbles, and then repaint where they do that.
My husband was really happy how wide they are with his semi.
yeah, these two of the roads that we widened, that's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
he thinks, because he delivers to Quick Star,
Yeah. It makes you feel a lot more comfortable,
Yeah.
I think.
and he gets fuel there, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very thankful.
He's in there buying food.
I know, right?
That's part of the deal if you're gonna stop.
Yeah. He unloads there, I said, so can you pick up some things while you're there?
Actually, make ribs now,
Oh, yeah?
It is.
I want a little bit rib type sandwich.
Still think we need a roundabout there at that corner.
No.
A quick start.
Yeah.
It was the biggest joke I've ever seen.
There's
They
one in
rank,
the-
they rank right up there with that one over, what is it, 41st and
Yeah, that
29?
one's
This
kinda
crisscross thing. What a
Oh,
joke.
the diverging diamond?
Yeah,
Oh, that's not so bad.
Those are cool once you figure out how to.
Yeah, I don't mind
I think it's a joke.
Well, even Orange City has one coming in.
I'll just say it again, you're getting too old.
You might be right.
They dramatically improved the capacity of the diamond interchange, the diversion diamond.
I still don't like them. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I used it the other day and it's really nice.
Yeah, once you,
Yeah,
once
once
you
you
flip the
get
traffic
it
around, it's on and off more easily. for traffic, so fewer conflicts and things. That's why most people like roundabouts. You only have like 4 conflict points in the roundabout entries, as opposed to like 36 or more. in an
My
intersection.
husband likes those, but
I don't mind roundabouts on Highway 60 either. They look pretty good. As long as everybody has.
thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
they make them so small. For a truck, it's kind of hard to,
Yeah, they have to put them under that middle medium thing.
That inside apron is designed for trucks.
yeah.
See, if you make them bigger, then everybody speeds inside them. So you have to make them small, and then have a mountable apron.
Mhm.
Keep the speeds down in the roundabout.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about me, I like to keep going.
Better than having.
Watch
to stop.
videos of people who go straight through them.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
That's a good video.
Is that motorhome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has an automatic now, so he likes that a lot better than,
Ooh, those are nice.
he'll never go back.
No, that's a nice.
Successful farm.
Michigan left,
Not
where you
anywhere
go past the
close.
intersection and then you turn to the turn line.
Years ago.
Because the
I
intersection,
forgot.
when you turn at the intersection, you have to go through, and then there's another
Just about
intersection,
50
you
years ago.
turn, then come back and
Well,
then.
They
there's
said
supposed to
that
be
this is
nice
with
stuff
all
like
this
a
stuff,
candy
it
store
says
in
they're gonna
Minnesota.
take us over for a fire shot.
There's one on Highway
Highway
20.
20 by
That's right, by that gas station,
Yeah.
that's a Michigan left turn.
Last time I was in the States, there looks like
I
they're
told
building a
you
new
it was
interchange
nuts.
there by that candy store place.
Turns out,
Where you won't have to do that
Funny little word.
goofy thing anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. I heard
Looks like
in the candy store.
The cross right there is building an over ramp and then you'd be able to take like a frontage road. 'Cause that gets to be a little gnarly.
so we gotta call this guy here.
No, he's supposed to be coming here. He's supposed to be here. John's supposed to be
John, I don't
coming
think
here.
he's
I don't
coming
think
today.
so.
He said he'd be available by phone if he
Oh, yeah?
wanted, but
Oh, this is really
he was
cool.
saving us mileage.
Got a
He told me yesterday.
info comments.
I thought he was coming,
Yeah,
so,
I don't think he is.
well, that's my misunderstanding then.
Yeah.
Okay, I probably better get a phone number then, are we gonna, or just, maybe we don't need him?
Do we need them?
I don't know, we have to defer it, but he didn't, I thought he was coming because we didn't know. We had to meet on the 3rd of December, or if we could wait till a normal meeting on the 10th. He didn't know if he could get a hold of contractors to get things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I doubt if he's got anything figured out yet about getting some of this stuff loaded.
Came out with $25,000, but way more than that. Like a lot of zeros behind that.
And you were picking up the difference, weren't you?
Mm-mm. No, I'm not.
Geez, I misunderstood that.
You sure did.
Should take off his bill. I don't get how they give this back 25%.
I'm trying to figure out which.
I mean, that 7.5, that's just to build it. That's not our architect fees, that's not lawyers, that's not, that we have already paid so far. That's just to build the building. And that's probably not inside stuff, furniture and any of that. Is it?
I have no idea if it is or not.
Oh, man.
The worst of it is, once we accept this bid, then we're stuck with it, aren't we?
I'm assuming so. I don't know.
That's why we're deferring.
Because he has to talk to people. We have to do something different here.
Yeah.
I was so hoping I 10-keyed it wrong. I didn't. He was gonna talk to Maggie to see if we can get premium or whatever, if that helps to get us more money, but
What was the first estimate? Wasn't it like 4.6 or something?
4.8, yeah. But that was his thoughts, what it was gonna be.
Well, that's what he does.
So why isn't it drawn and designed to that cost?
Yeah.
we got approved for the variance, all right? They're getting it in their building permit.
Maybe not quite that much, but.
I think Kevin better start his bake sale.
Big sale with lemonade.
You know, maybe hot coffee and hot chocolate. I think it was $11,000 just to print on the bid stuff,
Seriously?
just for print.
Keith, can they, you deal with this all the time, can they be off that much? How can, I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
What is it, about 20%?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be off that much, that close to the end. I mean, how many iterations of the plans do you look at? I mean, as you do each kind of like 60% plan, 30%, 60%, 90%, each time you do your plans, you should be updating your cost estimate and looking at what, things are going for in our region. Now, we have the advantage with the DOT that they're constantly doing bids and they're constantly updating the bid prices. So we get really close. In terms of this market, it's a matter of how much he's got his finger on the wholesale prices. It's a lot to
Yeah.
shoot up at the very end. But you said he had a bid or a estimated cost earlier.
I don't remember, I have to look.
Concept phase or?
On this sheet here,
It's 5.3.
estimate value was $6,457,000.
What is the actual bid? 7.4, 7.5?
$7,555,000 something.
That 6.4 is the total project cost. That's
Yeah,
architecture, Midwest Construction
everything.
Consultants.
Just fees and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's not just construction.
No,
So we're way over.
Well, his costs would probably be close to 20% with design and construction management, if he's doing construction management. Or overseeing the construction. What's the square footage of this building?
I don't remember. Do you remember how many square feet that was?
It's 10:30. We call a public hearing to order. Any comments from the public?
I haven't received any.
Jerry, is this what you're looking for?
I got that someplace here.
We had it says revised contract value of $7,018,135. That's still way over our 6.4 that we have in monies.
Where's that from?
Yeah.
Contract value.
This is mine, yeah.
That was on the sheet that we gave you.
1015 one he gave me says 6,000,004. That's with 1,050,000 in contingencies.
I just had the estimated value, original value, changed order date, and then revised contract, column number 3.
What's the date on the top?
That's the 15th, October 15th.
What's the date of this one? It says different.
Just different color.
Should be the same.
That's the same as this one.
Yeah, should be the same.
Sorry.
No more comments from the public. There's a public hearing. So we want to adopt resolution 12.
Yeah, we have to. But the number, the award contract, that we can waiver, that can be deferred to another date.
My hesitation with adopting resolution 12 is that I think he's designed it to a standard that exceeds the dollar amounts we've identified with. So I'm hesitant to approve plans and specs.
I would agree with that, Jason.
I think what he said yesterday is then you'd have to go through the rebidding process and it'll be costly and probably good to have him on the phone, but all right, I can't answer your question on square footage. I kind of kept looking at beds and space like that.
I'm just curious, because I mean,
I can't
Gail,
read this. Is this the
facilities
number?
or.
It's too small. I can't see what it says.
Surface is almost up to the hospitals.
Yeah, I can't read
Is it
it.
added
Mike, you
security?
got the cheers? Stronger cheaters?
I don't even know if that says square footage, does it, or what is that paper? That might have something to do with taking care of the old mound. I don't throw anything away, so if I keep digging, I'll find it.
I don't recall seeing a breakdown either from him on an estimate on phases of the project or the different.
No.
Well, you know, ISG will quite often give an engineer's estimate on what bids will come in at. He gives us a total of 4.238 for construction,
There really aren't any
and
dimensions
we
on
did
this.
7.44.
That's for everything, yeah. I mean, plumber and,
Well, no, he's got the 6 different divisions: general construction, security frames and hardware, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and fire and sprinkler.
What estimate of cost is he asking to have approved? Is it the what he already gave us?
and you want me to call him, or you want me to do?
Because his estimate of cost would be what he already gave us, right? Did we get a new estimate of cost? Other than what we had before?
What did we publish?
I don't know if it had, yeah, I can go get it. I don't know if it had in there the cost of it, so.
Just thinking out loud, what do you have in your budget? How much do you have as a reserve? But we can't use that anyway, can we?
No,
Don't you have one line with, for upkeep?
well, there's a line in there for, jail room and board fees. And I think there's like 100,000 in there.
Isn't there a line too for like repairs and stuff to the building over there?
Well, I don't know if there is or not.
I had that in my head and I'm probably wrong, but. Not that that'd ever happen.
No.
Was there only one bid?
No,
Or two bids?
Sorry, the
So this is the general contract, different parts of it.
And honestly, I struggle a bit because a $7.5 million jail to replace what's been here for 100 years is probably not ultimately unreasonable, but it's so far out of the scope of what he's been guiding us towards that
That's the
it
part,
frustrates me to no end.
that's the part I have a problem with. Because I think he could have come up a lot closer than what he did.
I think 7.5 is too damn much. I don't care how old the old one is.
So what do we do?
I don't know.
And maybe we adopt the resolution because that's what we went out to bids on. That's what we received bids on. Doesn't mean that we have to stick with that plan.
I have a question. How much of the electrical side with the moving and all that, I wonder how much that was cost? Because couldn't Dan get some of that out of 911?
Well, all the Dan's 911, that's just strictly for phones and radios.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing you use that for.
Can't they use that for moving it too? Moving the radios and,
Yeah, I'd have to ask Dan that one. I'm not sure if that would qualify under his domain or not.
Are the consoles, like 911 consoles?
Yeah, well, they're.
Like cubicle, like a self-contained cubicle is what I
Yeah.
used to see.
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm just thinking that.
I called the attorney, Christine, phone, and just guidance, if we can do this resolution 12 or not. She's on the phone right now. Is that okay if we put her on speaker and she can explain it to everybody? Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Christine, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
I'm in the board meeting with the 5 supervisors and the sheriff and the engineer and his assistant, so.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So Rochelle was just asking me some questions about whether the board should move forward with the resolution approving the plans and specs for the project. And here are the sort of decision points on that. If the board thinks that it might rebid the project in the future as it is currently designed, then you should go ahead and approve the plans and specs, because then that avoids the need to have a public hearing again if you want to, for example, rebid the project in the spring to see if you can get more favorable pricing. So in that situation, I would say go ahead and approve the resolution. If you think you're going to scrap this proposal and sort of go back to the drawing board and revise the scope of the project to try to get better pricing, then I would say you don't need to approve the plans and specs. You would just redesign the project, start the process over, hold another public hearing on whatever the revised scope of work is, and then move forward at that time. So if you approve them today, you're just avoiding the need to have another public hearing if you choose to bid the project as it is currently designed.
I think they need to redraw the plan.
And we did bid as it's currently drawn, so there's no requirement for us to approve the plans and specs since we already received bids.
Well, if you don't approve the plans and specs, then you cannot award a project based on those plans and specs. You have to formally approve the plans and specs by resolution to be able to award a contract based on those plans and specs. So if you don't approve the plans and specs, you would have to reject all the bids that you've received.
Well, the dollar amount that the bids came in at, we can't accept. Because it's way over budget.
Yeah, so if you're wanting to just reject all the bids, start over, have the project scope revised, then I would say you just don't approve the resolution approving the plans and specs and reject all the bids, and then provide direction to, the project engineer on how to bring project costs down, or to report back on how to bring project costs down.
And if we do approve the plans and specs, you also provided the next resolution where we can adjourn to permit the engineer to review and make recommendations. We could still restart the plans and specs phase even if these are approved. We're not tying our hands to having to proceed with these.
Correct. You can approve the plans and specs, and then subsequently, give yourself a little more time to think about the bids, and ultimately you can decide, at your next meeting, okay, we want to reject the bids and start over. By approving the plans and specs today, that doesn't prevent you from making changes down the road.
And then the next thing that I have on the agenda was to consideration of construction bids for Osceola County Public Center remodeling. What do we do there then? Just, they don't,
Neither one of them gets a vote.
just trying to figure out what to do there.
So the plans and specs is one action item. So once the board's decided whether to approve those, if you do approve the plans and specs, then you can move to the consideration of the bids. When you talk about the consideration of the bids, if the bids are too high, the county can say, this is above our budget, we're rejecting the bids. That's one option. You could also say, okay, we're approving the plans and specs, we need more time to consider the bids, we're gonna continue that to our next meeting to allow, the project engineer to look at the bids and come back and give us some recommendations. And then you could reject the bids at that time if you're still, not willing to accept the pricing.
Okay.
But if you wanted to reject the plans and specs, if you accept the plans and specs, you're stuck with these plans and specs.
No. That's not what she said. I mean, if
By
they,
approving the plans, yeah. You could approve the plans and specs today, and you could still, next week, next month, next year, if you don't award a contract, you could say, hey, we're gonna start this project over. We're gonna design new plans and specs. You would just need to hold a public hearing on those new plans and specs. So you're not necessarily locking yourself into the project until you've awarded the contracts.
But if we're not gonna award the contracts, do we need to do 12?
Conversation with John yesterday, and I think we should get John on the phone and get his opinion on proceeding with this. He indicated that he would talk to bidders and see if he could keep them down. I don't know how that works or how, but then we would need the plans and specs approved to potentially work with the number that he got altered, I guess, but I'm more content approving them, even if ultimately we don't use them, because we're not tied into that being the only approach. But
So 12, but not 13, right?
well, 13, they gave us the option to
Defer it.
defer it and hold off to a final decision later. But yeah.
So that's what we need to do for 13 is to defer that. Okay, do we have any more questions?
Not forever.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Okay, yep, you're welcome. Let me know if anything else comes up.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
So if we decide to just knock off, we were gonna add a place so for future expansion, if we just eliminate that, is there a figure in here that I'm not seeing for that?
There is a figure in there, there was.
What is?
I don't know where it is.
You know, didn't we add, I'm looking for a,
Well, the existing building, weren't we gonna like remodel the garage area or something that?
no, but we were gonna add more to the
What Jerry's talking about.
the south.
Is to the south, they were gonna put a part on there that if we ever need to expand, make it bigger, they were just gonna add that on there. They weren't necessarily gonna expand it, but that portion was gonna be on there.
It was gonna be within walls and under roof,
Yes.
and then it was gonna be like a bare
Not
area.
necessarily.
Yes, that's, yeah.
And then if you wanted like
So-
another, like, a dorm module or whatever,
Then they'd have to come in and drop walls in and stuff like that.
cells
So
and stuff, yeah. But it was under roof and under, so you got foundation, walls,
Yeah,
and
that's-
roof, so you got big
I
costs.
I can't find it with my mouse, but whatever. But if you just eliminated that, is there a figure somewhere? Does anybody have that? We have that
I thought he just,
cost someplace.
I don't think I've ever seen it written down. I thought he said it was like 150,
Yeah, I think
200,000.
that's what, like, I kind
I
of
don't think it was
recall
ever,
him saying that
Yeah.
too. It was like 100 to 150,000 just to have that
Yeah.
future expansion area on there.
I don't think it was ever written down that I saw.
I think at one time we had a architect drawing. I can't find it either.
Do you want me to call John? Do you not?
I'm just trying to figure out how to cut costs, just
Yeah.
because we're stuck.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna have to redraw this concept more than likely to come in with the dollar amounts we've got available with the new bids. So,
Because what was the update on the existing facility? That was, what was that gonna cost? I'm just trying to, we gotta cut corners someplace.
Part of the bid, I think, was taking the old house down.
I don't think that was in there.
that wasn't in there.
I thought it was.
That was a couple $100,000 to take that.
No, he's got 80,000.
Yeah, 80,000 or 86,000 or something for that.
Good luck with that.
I just thought, do we have to take that down right away?
What's your thoughts?
I think
You're
we
looking,
Well, Jason gave me a square foot, this thing pencils out to $1,000 and $44 a square foot. That's crazy. Even in today's day and age, post-COVID prices, that's a crazy cost per square foot.
so do you think rebid?
I don't know if you're just not getting the good bid climate because we're too remote, so you're not getting
Well, that was my next.
better bids.
Yeah.
Oh, that one that supposedly the low bid, he was from Milford, wasn't he?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the main contract one for Milford.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean, Sioux City, Milford, it's also Falls, Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
That's as little as we're gonna get for this kind of.
But is there too much going on?
Would it be better to do a spring bid than,
Probably not, would it
You
be?
would think
Kate?
that they'd be looking for their work to line up for the spring now. You would expect better bids now than the spring when everybody's already lined up what they're doing. Unless you get somebody in the spring who missed out, and they're hungry, because they didn't get their bid in the winter.
Well, John said they were looking for work.
Yeah.
That's
There was
what he
quite a
said.
few guys
Yeah,
here.
they said they were looking for work.
Yeah, there was quite a few people here.
But they
When we
didn't
opened
want
it.
bids.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of people on this sheet that didn't submit bids.
Yeah, he was surprised by that.
There's a lot of no bids, so we spent $11,000 handing all these bid booklets out and then got no bids out of them.
Yeah, but you probably can't. How do you know? You know, I know it's not, I agree. It's not money, but- I know I got off subject maybe a little bit here, but I'm just trying to figure out how to.
I think he's gonna have to go back to the drawing board with a different cost estimate for that.
Yeah, he's gonna have to sit down with each one of the bidders and see what he can do.
I don't think he's gonna get,
That much money.
no. I think he's gonna have to redraw what he's got going
Free.
down to the bare bones minimum, whatever it takes to get it done.
So just, Dr. Google here says that price per square foot for police stations is between $430 to $850 per square foot. You're at $1,044. You're more than $200 higher than the highest on their range price that they show.
That's crazy.
What did you say, Keith? How much is?
This is just a thing I just popped up on
Yeah.
Google. It says between $430 to $850 per square foot for police stations.
And ours is at what, 1,050?
1,044. And that was from January of 2024. Right, that number.
Should we get him on the phone?
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Do you by chance have his number? I was gonna-
Sometimes those prices per square foot, the high end, usually it accounts for like bringing utilities or virgin site like off in the middle of nowhere, but you're right here in the middle of town, all your utilities are here, right here.
Put that away quiet, just in case. Usually, first time, that never happens. Ever.
Kevin, you got any ideas?
Well, if need be, we can hold off on the remodel.
Midwest, John Hanson speaking.
Hey, John, this is Rochelle. We're still in the board session, so the board has a few questions.
Okay.
How are you gonna get the dollars down?
I'm checking with the contractors, see where the money's at, so we can come up with, some design solutions and stuff, and see what we can take out of the project that's, in it currently, and then have you take a look at them, to decide how we want to approach this.
John, how come, our per square foot is over $1,000? Normal is anywhere from,
That's what I'm trying to find out, where all the money is. So there's no way that we should have been that high. And I know that we've added some things to it, but to the project, you know, we're in the current design or the original design, but it seems awfully high to me that we're that high. So I'm trying to find that out. So
well, the average,
right now I'm just working with low contractors to discuss where we're at with them. What we'd have to do is we'd have to award the bids, you know, and then take the money out of it after that. So I'm trying to find out where the money is right now. So I've been in discussions with the contractors and with architects and engineers. So
we're not gonna award that contract to you, because we're stuck then.
There's no guarantee you take that change order down.
Pardon?
Well, if we award the contract, we're stuck.
No, we would have the change orders that we could issue at that time.
Yeah, but your change orders, this is Keith, the county engineer, when you start doing these change orders, those are negotiated prices and things like that. There's no guarantee you're gonna get that dollar down on a change order.
Yeah, we would get it, if we find out what that cost is to delete that portion of it, and then issue the change orders after the contracts were awarded. You can't negotiate stuff down until you award the contract per Iowa code.
Well, I'm not suggesting you negotiate at all. I'm suggesting that if you're going to take things out, then you need to redesign and take them out and give all bidders the chance to make that price, that new bid. I don't think you award and then try to change order down.
Let me put it this way, if you go to rebid this project, you won't get any of the bidders that you had the first time. And you be likely to be just as high, if not higher.
Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? How'd you miss it so bad? That's 20%, John. You gonna throw your fees in for nothing?
Let me put it this way, the renovation of the existing facility wasn't in the original program. It was requested by the board and others to get that in there to see where the bids would come in. So, and also, the building was moved from the one side to the other side, and then there was discussions to leave the demolition in the project or to take it out of the project or whatever. So I guess if you want me to work on it and get it done, I can. I didn't design the facility. So, and if you need to rebid it, then the architect and engineer is going to work with you. I mean, this is supposed to be a 3-stage project. And meant that renovations were not included in the original design, and instead of that, it was put into the entire project to get the cost of it. So,
How much would we save by taking renovations out of it?
that's what I'm trying to find out.
Okay,
So I'm trying to come up with some ideas for the board to consider at this point. And if we have those ideas, then the board can choose how they want to proceed with the project.
but we have to award the bid before we do that?
We would have to get the cost and award the bid. You can't just go out. I can't negotiate with all 3 contractors, let me put it that way. We have to go with the low contractor. So I'm trying to find out where the cost is. I mean, we had, there's some problems with the electricals, the engineers and everybody came up to look at, and I gotta find out what the different costs are so that I can get you the information that you require to make a final decision. I just don't wanna make a decision based on not having all the information available.
Oh, sure, yeah.
John, maybe I missed something. I'm confused by renovations not being a part of it, because when we were preparing for the bond vote, you provided us a handout to provide, and it says, new jail addition and existing facility renovation. Bond not to exceed 5 million with a 5.3 million estimated cost. So I'm not understanding why renovation was never supposedly part of construction.
Well, I can send you the estimate. The estimate was the renovations. The only renovation that was in the original estimate was the roof.
But you provided us a flyer for us to tell the citizens when they were going to vote that it was going to be an addition and renovation.
Yeah, the roofing was the renovation of that. I mean, we never intended on, it was never in the estimate to provide evidence room, to have to redo the entire electrical, to have to move the gas mains, and to do all the interior work that they had located. So that wasn't in the original estimate, but it was put in there instead of 3 phases, it was put into the entire project. Now, I know there are some huge increases in cost because Southern Folger bought out Brinks locks, so now there's only one lock supplier. There's only one door supplier for detention doors. So I'm trying to find out where the money is so I can give you answers. So I'm pulling all that together along with everything else, and if you have additional information you require, let me know, and I will pull that together at the same time. But it is, I was talking to the architect yesterday about, I thought that it was way out of line. Usually we're at 400 square foot, and you're saying we're at 1,000, so I'm trying to find out where that discrepancy is.
I wasn't aware of the remodel cost being added, so it's not necessarily exactly 1,000.
And the square footage I gave to Keith would have been the addition square footage, so not the remodel, so that would alter it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what they're looking at on this renovation, that they just got scared and threw money at it or what. But it's ridiculous over budget, so I'm trying to figure out and get the report to you. So, I mean, that's all I can tell you at this time.
So you recommend we proceed with resolutions 12 and 13 until we get more answers from you?
Yeah, because 13 is deferment of awarding bids till the 10th of December, so that I have an opportunity, you know, with Thanksgiving and stuff. I want to make sure that I can gather all the information for you so that we can take a look and find out where this went wrong on us.
So the 10th is okay instead of the 3rd, like you originally thought, or?
Yeah, the 10th would be okay. We need some time to sort this out.
Okay.
And then we'll probably need time if we have to defer it again till we get this thing straightened out with the board, you know, after I come to the board, then we'll have to do that also.
So
Okay.
it would be lower than that $1,000.
Not much.
There's quite a few square feet over
I
there.
mean, we weren't planning on starting the construction till March anyway. We gotta get this right so that we can move ahead, so.
So do we have to pass the resolution 13? Or can we just put that on hold till for a week or two?
You have to pass the resolution 13 because it's a check
Sign it.
to defer award of bids until engineers and stuff have an opportunity to review the cost. It's checked on that 13, on that resolution. It's on the second page or whatever, second and third page.
Seeing there's caveats built into the resolution itself.
Yeah, so that we can defer it until the next meeting. That's what the 13. So the adjourn to permit the engineers to review and make recommendation on said bids, therefore defer action on the resolution to the meeting to be held on 10:30 a.m. on December whatever, 10.
But then you're accepting the bid in the next paragraph, be it resolved by the board.
We have nothing in there to award it to.
We're identifying what the low bidder is. We're not accepting it. We're identifying what the process yielded as a low bidder is how I would see that.
We have nothing in there because we're not awarding and we're just deferring it until we can get more verification.
Says in the agenda, it's the award of the construction contract. The agenda item says, is that not what the resolution says?
It is, but
It
then,
says consider resolution 13, making award of construction contract, which has the option to either adopt it or adjourn it. It's been provided with those options.
That's correct.
I don't see where we'll get the numbers to where we want them to be with the current design, but hearing what legal counsel said, and if John's going to talk to the contractors, I think we should proceed with Resolution 12. We'll make a motion for its approval.
I'll support that.
Mr. Vanda,
Reluctantly, aye.
Yeah.
Mr. Schulte,
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer,
Aye.
Mr. Elmers.
Nay.
I also am a nay. Motion carries. And legal counsel said we didn't need to do 13.
They provided us the resolution with the option to adjourn and allow the engineer to work further on before he makes a recommendation on bids. So yeah, like Rochelle said, the lower side would not even be filled out as the low bidders because we're adjourning it.
So the consideration of construction bids for Osceola County, what's on the agenda, we just go down, just make a note that we're continuing it to give the project engineer more time, or is that? We can't approve any, I mean, we don't want to approve anything because we're not there.
Be approving resolution 13. We said that we were gonna act, my understanding is that we were gonna act on bids we received today. If not, how are we changing that course? And to me, this resolution allows for that. Or else we reject them, like she had said. Sorry, I don't remember the lawyers.
Christine.
Christine.
As long as we have that option, I'll make the motion to accept resolution 13.
On the resolution, you'll have a chance to reject bids the next time after you're just deferring award of the bids at this time till we have an opportunity to talk to the low bidders. And then if you decide to reject bids and rebid, then you can do that the next time also. So all you're doing is deferring judgment, so it allows me time to go to the contractors and find out where the money is.
If we don't do this, where does that leave us? What would our course of action be, intended course of action be?
Well, you either have to defer action on it, or you would have to accept the bids currently, and that's why we're deferring action at this time. It would not be my recommendation to reject bids at this time. You have the low bidders that you're working with, so, and they are local. So.
I will offer support to resolution 13.
Mr. Schulte,
Aye.
Mr. Vanda,
Aye.
Mr. DeBoer,
Aye.
For clarity, that is with the adjourn.
Yeah.
Selected as shown.
Mr. Elmers.
Aye on that one.
Motion carries.
You guys have anything else for John?
Not right now.
All right. I think we're done with you,
Yeah, you're
John.
welcome to give me a call with any questions.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
I knew there was gonna be problems with this, but I didn't expect it this big.
You deal with an engineer.
Yeah.
He said $400 a square foot is where it should be.
No.
So I don't know how he's gonna squeeze that money out of them.
You know what square footage is of the existing.
I have no idea what it is.
That's part of the job of being sheriff, you're supposed to know square footage.
Sorry, that one slipped by me.
That was in the small print.
Yeah, but if,
All your salaries are based on price per square foot, so.
for my opinion, for what it's worth, I don't mind if we skip the remodel, you know, if that's gonna lower the cost, but we absolutely, we need the jail. Because if we don't get the jail, we're not gonna have one anymore, so.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
now it's up to him to-
The remodel, that can, you know, we can skip that or just put it on down the, further on down the road or whatever has to happen with it, but,
That might be the way to go.
Uncertainty drives up bids. When things aren't clear, the price goes up.
Yeah.
And you take an old remodel building, there could be a lot of risk there to a contractor, but you drive it, I don't know if it gets you 1.5 million. He did mention in there, he slipped out that they were expecting something in the range of $400 per square
Yes.
foot. I
Yeah.
heard that, so.
Yeah.
That thing I pulled up is 450 to 850, so he was expecting on the lower end.
Still being ripped from 2 to 5.
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
And-
Thanks, Kevin.
And there are costs when you move things around and your utility costs get different and things like that.
But it's double,
Double.
even without the extra remodel, the square footage per cost is double.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take $250.
You can take 300K out of this thing, and, you know, at 850 a square foot, it'd be 6 million. So, that's at the high end of that thing.
So much fun.
Never found a bid come in really high. We'll just scramble to figure out what you can do.
Well, more high. This was yours, wasn't it?
I always blame it on the engineer. He ain't even looking at me.
And all we do is look at the previous bids and the unit prices and try to estimate as best we can.
See how good a guesstimate you can put out there, huh?
I mean, guess it's averaging math from 4 months ago. And hoping that price escalation hasn't gone insane. But things have kind of stabilized price-wise the last year. They're not as crazy as they were 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Bucks down.
Any other business?
Thanks, Keith.
No, thank you.
Ryan?
Thanks for sitting in and listening to this. Well, there's one big item left on the table. I'd make a motion for that.
Support anybody?
Support it.
All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.